Okay, I guess just a couple closing thoughts here about healthcare and the way I feel about it, and the way I think probably most of you feel about it as well. This is a scary, scary time in our country. I really, really believe that. And I'm not trying to be an alarmist or some kind of fanatic about this, but folks, let's stop and really look at this healthcare bill. If it passes the way it currently stands, it is the first time in this country's history, over 200 years, that you as an American will have to pay money just to be a citizen. No one's really talking about that aspect of this bill. If you have a child, as soon as your child is born, they're obligated to give the federal government money for their health care. Currently, and there's probably not many people doing this, you want to go out in the wilderness as long as you have permission to be on the land and live off of the land and not work and not pay taxes. You don't have to. You're not working. You don't owe the government anything. Not the case when this bill passes. All Americans, all citizens, will have to pay for their own health care. There are penalties if you don't. Currently, I don't believe there's any verbiage about jail time for it. But how do you enforce a penalty if you don't put some kind of criminal responsibility behind it ultimately? So I'm not going to say that would even happen. But what's a penalty without enforcement? It's just words. I guess just words, just speeches, right? That's really scary to me. It shouldn't cost us money to be Americans. It shouldn't cost us money to keep to ourselves. And it definitely should not cost our children in the future trillions of dollars for this health care that I think most Americans, they don't want it. I mean, there's all sorts of regulations that are attached to this thing, where the government's going to interject themselves into your life and tell you what they think is the best course of treatment based on some study, some doctor's opinions. Look, folks, you won't even have the option to go out and buy health care on your own. Once the government puts their hand in there, they're going to drive down the price. They're going to put in price constraints. And private business is not going to be able to make money in the healthcare field anymore. So why would you go into it? Why would you start a health insurance company to break even? You're not going to do that. You're not going to get investors. You're not going to get shareholders. It's almost like the current trend among liberals is making money is bad. I don't think so. That's what we all want to do, isn't it? That's what drives America. That's what drives us to be successful, to succeed, to own real estate, to own our own home, to get a better job, to make more money, to invest our money so our children can grow up and have it a little bit better than what we had when we came along. That's the American dream. The American dream is not entitlements and government handouts. The American dream is pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps and moving on and moving ahead the best we can and doing it ourselves so we're rewarded with success.